Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Mochi with This, That, and Beyond. And today I have a video on week one of the Vintage Sewing Pattern Challenge, which is a hop in and hop out over at BB's Closet Creations. That's who's hosting the challenge. You don't have to mail anything. You just collaborate, make something, make a video, and put your hashtag and tag her so she could see, what you created for the theme of vintage sewing pattern. So the other person that is hosting with BB Closet Creation is Paper Convections with Karamia here on YouTube. They both here on YouTube. And I was excited to join. Now, my week one of vintage has passed me by. I mean, like, I was not feeling well. I did make what I wanted to make to collaborate and join the challenge. But then I couldn't find myself to just come up to the craft room and sit here and do the video because I've been feeling very down. And so I'm getting over it little by little. So anyways, long story short, that's not what this is about me being down. It's about the vintage sewing pattern for week one, September. And this is what I came up with. So I did I'm going to start with this one. I did the tag, and I printed out a pattern because I really didn't have any pattern paper. And I got one of the vintage ladies from the printable of the picture of the pattern pack. I trimmed her out and I glued her onto the paper that looks like a pattern. So it says sewing, vintage sewing pattern, vintage pattern. So I did use my sewing machine. As you can see, here are the little threads sticking out. And these little darker corners here, this is pattern paper because I asked somebody that sews if they could share a old piece of pattern paper, and she did. She shared it with me. And in the back, this is what I did with the pattern paper. I glued it down to the back and I cut the edges of the paper so that I can get the stitching images. And then here I cut out a piece that is the name of this pattern paper, and it says McColl's, McColl's kit size. And then here's, I guess, the log number, I don't know, whatever the case that may be. And then it says fabric, cut one, unfold. And then it says it in different languages. And this was the front neck facing A piece of pattern. So yeah, I glued it on there. And of course, see, I didn't do my the punch hole here. So that was it. You have to have 5 different, let me do this. Okay, there goes the hole for the tag. You had to have 5 pieces, so that's one. And then this is the other one. This is my vintage envelope, and on this I used I call this music sheet. It's very vintage, as you can see, very delicate. That's how old it is, that it's even tearing. This was gifted to me by my sweet sister here on YouTube, Crafting with Isabel. Hi, sis. And then I used the Temu vintage frames that I ordered. And then I used one of those washi tape stickers that was gifted to me by also Isabel. Here I use washi tape. And over here, I use the ephemera that looks like vintage that I ordered from Rosie here on YouTube, Rosie Creative Wings. Hi, sis. And then here, I added one of my burlap flowers that look sort of like vintage that I purchased from the $1.25 store. And behind it, I added a fabric flower that was gifted to me in a pocket letter swap from Lori here on YouTube, Sweetie Pie Designs. Thank you, Mama. Hello, Lori. And let's see. And then in the back, I added more washi tape. These came from Temu Vintage. These I made copies of, and I fussy cut and glued it down to the envelope. And this I fussy cut and glued down to this envelope. This envelope I made from what is it? Shipping paper. And then this here, the white coffee dye paper, I added that's coffee white dye. And inside I added, in the envelope, I added my journal pieces, my vintage journal pieces. This is a special message gram card by Express Cable Deliveries. I copied. In the back, I added lined in coffee dye paper. Here I have a tag, and what I did was I added a vintage image here, and it came with the sewing pattern. Also, I added the coffee dye lined in paper. I hope I'm in frame. This one is also stitched in. It's vintage reading book paper. See, it has the stitches. You can tell right there that it sewed it with the machine. And then I added an ephemera piece here, a vintage one, a fan. And then it's a pocket. I added a small paper pocket to it. And of course, you cannot add anything to your journal unless you have journaling paper. So this is my journaling paper. All I did was stamp it. Everything else was there already. And then you can write on the back. It's a printable. And that's my week one. I'm sorry I'm so late. My ladies, the ones that are hosting this collaboration challenge, I'm so sorry. But I did give my word that I was gonna join, and I have, just a little late for week one. So that's week one, vintage sewing pattern. That's one. And I will be back with the week two, which is fall. So I'll see you in that video pretty soon. Thank you for watching. And I think I went out of frame.